Tracy had been a defiant smoker. She had started during high school and continued for most of the rest of her life. In 1997, an X-ray revealed a spot in her right lung, and 2/3 of the lung had to be removed. That spot turned out to be a hard little ball of cancer. Since it was so hard and compact, the doctors thought that all the cancer cells had been removed. Maybe they had, maybe they hadn't, but at least Tracy was frightened enough to stop smoking. But her lung cancer returned in 2003. This time we went to the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, an internationally renowned institution whose treatment of cancer is as fine as any in the world. Her doctor was clearly brilliant, but also intense, concentrated, sometimes brusque. Tracy liked him. She also liked his unflappable country girl nurse, who somewhat sweetened his brusque effect. The doctor prescribed a regimen of chemotherapy and radiation treatments that would last 6 to 8 weeks. Every Monday morning we drove to Houston, where we had rented an apartment near MD Anderson. We spent most of every day at the hospital until Friday afternoon, when we drove back to Austin for the weekend. Tracy's treatments were painful and debilitating. There were also endless tests and appointments with various doctors, so we spent a lot of time in crowded, dismal waiting rooms until Tracy's name would finally be called. MD Anderson is an immense labyrinth of long, dark hallways leading to banks of elevators and various attached buildings. It was easy to get lost, and we often did. It was also dismal in the evening at the apartment we had rented. The smell of cooking nauseated Tracy, so I ate out and brought her back a milkshake, which was about the only food she could tolerate. We discovered that one of the cable channels there showed the nightly news from TV5 Monde in Paris. We had taken several trips to France together and had become dedicated Francophiles, and we were both committed to learning French, although our progress had been slow. Now we sat together on a couch in the evening and watched the French news faithfully, although we didn't understand much. And, blessed miracle, that summer my alma mater, Rice University, won the College World Series. Neither of us followed college baseball, but we watched the final game against Stanford, happy to have this unexpected and unlikely diversion from thinking about cancer. Fortunately, the treatment seemed to be working and were discontinued after 6 weeks, although we had to return to Houston for checkups 4 times a year. Finally, on one happy day in 2007, when we were in the office of her doctor, he said, "You are cancer-free." Tracy felt not only healthy but liberated. When the chemo and radiation stopped in 2003, at the age of 60, she heroically returned to college for 4 years to earn a second undergraduate degree so that she could become a licensed interior designer. As part of her degree program, she had been required to take a course called Family Living. Everything about this course, the requirement itself, the droning professor, the expensive and useless textbook, annoyed Tracy. "I've had 2 husbands," she said. "I've been married over 30 years. I've raised 4 children. What is it they think I don't know about family living?" But she got her degree and passed the licensing examination and started a business. Since her taste in anything visual was impeccable, and since she was personally gracious and charming, she soon had a number of clients who liked her work and recommended her to others. At last she was making money on her own, something she had always wished for. She was doing well, the children were all doing well, I was doing well, and we were very happy together. That lasted 7 years. For the first 8 months, 2010 was a particularly good year. In April, our daughter Vivian got married. Her husband Jason was a funny, happy, brilliant electrical engineer. Our son Ben performed the ceremony that Vivian and Jason had written. Friends of ours and theirs came from all across the country. When the band began, I danced with the bride and Tracy danced with the groom, and then we traded partners and everyone started dancing. At one point, the aggressive wife of one of our friends was standing so close to a man other than her husband that he was trapped against the wall and was squirming to get away. It was comical. I looked for Tracy just as she was looking for me. When our eyes met, we both began smiling like conspirators.